Let's turn to business news now with Nona Peltier. Hi, Nona.
Hello.
Latest QV house figures are out. Queenstown has now joined Auckland in having an average price for residential property of $1 million plus, right?
That's right. That's correct. Yeah.
And Queenstown has just shot up in the last year, hasn't it?
And it's true that the prices have been rising everywhere, but now a little bit slower because of these new lending restrictions that have been brought in recently by the Reserve Bank. But they're still very high. I mean, when you're talking about slowing increases, we're talking about the average quotable value house price index increased 12.4% in the year ended November. Now, that's a slowing rate. It slowed from 12.7% the month before.
Is that nationwide?
Yeah, that's the nationwide price, yeah.
12.4%.
Yes, that's right. But not in Queenstown. No.
What was it in Queenstown?
Well, the QV national spokesperson, Andrea Rush, I spoke with her today a couple of times. She says the tighter lending measures imposed by the banks have been, having an impact on the growth of house prices, but not in Queenstown, where prices rose a massive 32% over the past year.
That's just nuts, 1/3.
Now, we have a little bit of audio from Andrea earlier today.
One very strong performer in the latest monthly QV House Price Index figures is the Queenstown market, and the Queenstown district now followed the Auckland region to post an average value over $1 million after recording a massive 32.2% rise in residential property values over the past year.
Yeah, that's just extraordinary, isn't it?
So that's our national spokesperson for QV, Andrea Rush. And I spoke with her again this afternoon about just what the potential impact could be on further restrictions. Well, it was really interesting that she said that investors, smaller investors, larger investors, you name it, are buying properties outside of the main centers in those regions where the house prices are like $300,000, etc. Because it's a lot easier to get a mortgage if you've got to put 40% down on a house that's selling for $300,000 than one that's selling for $1 million.
Queenstown's fascinating. We've looked at it at length on this program because it's a service town, it's a tourist town. So there are an awful lot of people working in bars, cleaning hotels, waiting in restaurants or whatever, earning $16, $17, $18 an hour or whatever. They can't afford to live in the town where they are employed. So this is an extraordinary situation.
Yeah.
And there's such a chronic shortage of property there.
And I think a lot of places are finding that, certainly in Auckland, and I mean, it's not surprising that sought-after locations like Queenstown are going to see the same kind of issue.
Some action on the oil markets today.
Yeah, well, exactly. We've been sitting around here for, a year? Maybe longer, talking about oil production versus the supply, the big oil glut. Well, would you believe it? The Saudis have finally come to the party and decided to, and agreed to, with along a lot of other OPEC nations, to limit production.
Right, so prices...
Yeah, they sure did. So let's say 1 million barrels a day less. Okay, I mean, they're still producing a lot, but 1 million less. What does that equate to? That equated to a 9% rise in oil prices. That's the U.S. price, to over just shy of $50 a barrel. The Brent crude, which is the one we usually talk about, it moved to a 6-week peak of 52.37. So, finally some deal on oil. That certainly buoyed the market, energy stocks, and you name it. So, yeah, very big news on the market. And, so we finished up 0.5% today. That's our NZX Top 50 Index, up 36 points to 6,933. And the New Zealand dollar trading at 70.8 US cents, 95.6 Australian. And that British pence, 56.5.
Nona Peltier, thanks so much. Nona doing the numbers.